The pink test at the iconic SCG is on the cards with a lot of rumors, a lot of news going on about Captain Rohit Sharma, the others, head coach Gautam Gambhir is also feeling the heat as well. Select Ajit Agarkar is out there since the past couple of weeks. I have Utsa with me, I have Rohan with me. When we talk about the Border Gavaskar Trophy, when we saw the squad, Rohan, for the Border Gavaskar Trophy getting announced, honestly, my eyes were on a couple of big names apart from Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to be part of this squad because you cannot forget the teams like Australia, South Africa, and rest who always have test match specialist players. Like we had always had Vernon Philander. For Australia, there is Usman Khawaja, Josh Hazelwood, though Josh Hazelwood plays more white ball cricket as well. Nathan Lyon, why not it happens for India? And I wonder, people might say it's because of the IPL contract, because domestic cricket is not part of a selection anymore when it comes to Indian cricket. Because you rightly mentioned last time when we did a preview, if that would have been the scrutiny, then Abhimanyu Ishwaran would have had his debut by now, to be honest. But what are your thoughts is when we compare? It's very harsh to say compare, but I'll come from the old generation to the new one. We've come a long way. When we had the last time when we toured Australia, we had Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane in the middle order. Now we have upgraded ourselves and moved on to the likes of Shubman Gill and KL Rahul. Though you're toying with KL Rahul's position every single test, that's absolutely understandable. But if Rohit would have opened, KL would have batted at 5. Your thoughts on this generation and what pivotal roles did the previous two mentioned names had in the previous tours?
Let me begin with the first thing, Preetham, what you asked, like why the new generation is coming up. Because IPL is a like a short staircase where they can take it to the Indian team. If you have a one good season and you perform pretty well, directly the eyes of all the selectors and the fans, everybody will be like, why doesn't XYZ get picked into a test squad? So sometimes the formats get intertwined and people get a short sight, I feel, just because of a white ball performance in IPL. Go slam bang, they feel, because lots of stake is the WTC points, and they want a fast forward player who can keep the game moving forward at a faster pace. But problem is test match cricket sometimes demands the discipline, grittiness, and sometimes patience, which present lot lack a lot in a huge sense, which is clearly visible in this tour down under. Very few have made sure biding the time, like example Virat Kohli not able to sustain that outside off stump phenomena that we're seeing. Like that, it's just that Cheteshwar Pujara or Ajinkya Rahane were brought up in that grind of domestic cricket for a Saurashtra or a Mumbai, where the first basic thing is to value your wicket. Don't give it away to lose shots. Let the bowler earn your wicket. The classic things like give the first half an hour to the bowler, the next 5.5 will be yours. Those kind of mentalities what these guys were brought up with. I remember when Pujara came in, people were talking, yes, three triple hundreds, and all those kind of a talk were there. Nowadays, you don't get a guy to score a triple hundred or even a double hundred, let alone. They'll be like, how many balls did he score? Between 40 balls, 50 ball, 100. This is how people are getting into limelight. Unfortunately, that's not the way you select your test team. As you said, we need specialists, be it Ishwaran, anyone. If they can show that patience on the A tour, maybe if they get selected, and if they come through the ranks there, and same way for a fast bowler, if they can keep on bowling those maiden overs, stitch a good spell together, and then get a wicket, just how a Justy does it. Same things if they can repeat it a lot. Someone like a Mukesh Kumar, a Prasidh Krishna, we've seen them toil a lot in domestic cricket. Akashdeep, they've all earned their stripes, I feel, but just that sometimes they can't step up that one more level. They're there and thereabout. They need a little bit of extra push, or sometimes a bit of luck also plays a part. Coming to your other part, saying how a Shubman Gill or a Rahul at times does. Again, these guys are product of IPL cricket, where they're coming to the limelight because of their scoring orange caps and fastest 50s and whatnot. And nowadays, the leadership role also has come to them in the last 4 5 years to respective franchises.
Correct.
What happens is, again, all the eyeballs will be there. How does XYZ perform, so that when they come into Indian team, can they be the next captain or a vice captain in line? These things, all factors come in. Not to forget the brand value each person carries with them, and the IPL fandom and all etc things for the marketing purposes. So all these things sometimes come into your test selections, which may be not the right way, but you need a proper guidance to these guys how to evolve. Until those system is in place, we may keep chopping and changing a lot, and we'll have mixed success, I feel.
Okay, so we'll have mixed success. You said a lot about all four players as a whole, but Utsav, one point I want to take it on from snatch it from Rohan's point of view is that the IPL, if you perform one good season in the IPL, you always get the limelight, and then the attention comes to you. This player should represent India in whatever format is it. I will go back to 2023. And if you remember, at number 3, Ajinkya Rahane had a stellar season for the Chennai Super Kings. And was that the
Yep.
reason why he got an opportunity in the WTC final?
Yes, 100%. The IPL, the WTC final was just, I think, a week before the
Correct.
IPL ended, and Ajinkya Rahane was balling. Just he had a, I guess, 170 odd strike rate, playing at number three for CSK, maintaining a pretty decent average, and it just felt like the boys that we have right now might, uh, might just succumb to the pressure of the WTC final, and it is required. It is necessary to bring a guy like Ajinkya Rahane, which to many seemed like a very outrageous kind of a decision. But if you look at from a longer distance, it was not that bad of a decision. Having said
Absolutely
that,
not.
Ajinkya Rahane was the best batsman in that final.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, entirely. Uh, like I can understand why the selection parameter has gone from domestic to IPL. Like before, in the pre IPL cricket that we had, you did not have any other metric to choose a player other than the IPL. But there were still legendary players who did not get a call up. Like when we see that the first name that comes is Amol Majumdar. Now that the IPL is here, a person who has not played a lot in the Ranji circuit, has just played the 20 over cricket, has a lot of eyeballs, has learned to play under a lot of stress, under a lot of pressure, and
Yep.
has become a big name. For an example, let's say Shah Rukh Khan from Gujarat Titans, earlier played for Punjab. So he is literally the white ball guy. You do not see him a lot in the red ball circuit. Uh, so yes, I when it comes to selection in the red ball, looking at the performances of IPL or any white ball tournament is not the right way to do it. But I can totally see how IPL is turning out to be one of the major scouting or performance finding kind of a tournament.
But that is the shortest format of the game, and not to forget,
Right.
it's a white ball cricket, Rohan. Then what will the players who play these Ranji Trophy, red ball cricket, to be honest, what will they do every single season? They're looking forward to the playing for the state, and hopefully it's a dream to represent the country. What will be their goals, to be honest?
I think they'll be hoping they get IPL contract from one of those franchises to make sure they get some opportunity to showcase the talent.
Harsh but true, to be honest.
Yes, you saw someone like when Pujara got picked in the IPL, though he didn't play the season. There was a huge hue and cry in the room itself, just to show that the kind of value that guy brings. Same way, if, like Ishwaran would have got, or Sarfraz hasn't got the IPL contract this time, though he has scored tons of runs and has a fabulous first class
While his
average.
brother, while his brother got a contract.
Yes, Mushir, just because he had a decent under 19 World Cup and white ball specialist basically again. But okay, that's their fate, you can say. But end of the day, what we want to do is domestic cricket's value should not be downgraded. The kind of climate, the just the overall effect these people have, the conditions they play under, sometimes not even proper stay where they have to accommodate and stuff like that. Not to forget the pitches, no DRS. So sometimes bad judgment by the umpire can ruin their innings. And there's the stats. If somebody a selector looks at, may feel XYZ doesn't perform, but unfortunately the umpiring error or those things will not be highlighted there, because not all games get covered in the Ranji Trophy because of so many teams. So sometimes all these things get missed out. So you need a right kind of a selector to have a watchful eye, who performed when, against what kind of an opposition, what kind of conditions they were up against. All these things come into picture. Just for example, I want to say someone like a Nitish Reddy, though he plays for a smaller team, he had to step up the ladder, showcase his talents against bigger teams like a Mumbai, a Bengal, a Tamil Nadu. When he scores the runs against those teams, against better bowling attacks, maybe not a volume of runs, but the quality of runs that he gets, that's where IPLG would have come in. And that would have factored into how he got the selection in this Australian series as well. So that's a good pick, in spite of the numbers. But what I say is, in general, over the years, as Utsav rightly mentioned, someone like Amol Muzumdar or yesteryears, people used to pick tons of wickets. But maybe there was no scope within the batting order or the bowling attack to get somebody in. Just the lack of space, or nobody retired at that time. All were of the same age, and that was a factor. But what I feel is, unless and until you perform well in domestic cricket, get that A tour maybe going, hopefully in the longer run. That's where player identification come in for the Sena countries at least, so that once and when the team India is picked for that particular tour, we know that XYZ has performed there already in the A tour and is acclimatized pretty well. We can have a easier swap and not be again waiting for a warm up game and all those things to happen, or even lose the first couple of tests to get even settled to the conditions. Let's be one step ahead. We have the resources, we have the finances. Make sure you use it wisely and become a proper good champion test team that we want us to be.
Absolutely. When is the time going to come that we once again become a champion side? Because I understand people talk about that we are now in a transition phase, and slowly and steadily we'll see the players like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli hang up their boots. But now, Utsav, if we talk about experience and how important this Border Gavaskar Trophy was for us, because we got whitewashed at home against New Zealand, which in in terms of Indian cricket at home, you should always dominate. The result should have been the flip opposite, to be honest. But If you look into the numbers, Pujara and Rahane has played 188 matches so far together in Test cricket. But if you go on the other end, Rahul and Shubman Gill in total has played 88 matches, so not even half. So how much do you think experience matters? And in this regard, I would like to ask you when it comes to the leadership as well. When Rahane and Pujara played, you always had Virat Kohli in that thought process. He was part of there for two Border Gavaskar Trophy, and he always had these two players because of the experience in that team. Similarly, now if you look into the transition phase, it's the first time Rohit Sharma is now leading the side, and he has Rahul and Shubman Gill especially, and I have many other names to be honest, Sundar, Nitish Reddy, etc., etc. When it comes to transition phase, have we missed a trick of not playing experienced players? Because if the Aussie side, apart from Sam Constas, the rest of the players' average is 30 years.
Yes, experience counts a lot, but let's be real here. The guys who got out, who got dropped because of the lack of performances. Yes, they are the big game players, they have the experiences, but for the last 4 years, 5 years, including Virat Kohli, these three haven't been scoring runs. Neither Virat has scored runs, nor Pujara or Rahane. So if we bring them, yes, they have a pretty decent form. Syed Mustaq Ali, Ajinkya Rahane has been smashing that tournament. Even at the Vijay Hazare, he started off pretty decent. That guy has the experience, but uh, just bringing him into the side on the basis of again that 50 over 20 over kind of format just does not quite make sense. Having said that, before the WTC final, Cheteshwar Pujara was playing county. He batted for a very long time. He was smashing
Correct, correct.
centuries and double centuries.
Centuries, double
But
centuries.
when it came to the WTC final, he left a ball of Scott Boland, which got to his stumps. So he's like county's level has fallen definitely, and with age, a player's capabilities also kind of go down. If you want experience, apart from Ajinkya Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara, you can give the names of probably VVS Lakshman and Rahul Dravid as well. But of course, it's not possible to bring those guys back. So we always have to learn from things that has happened in the past, but keep our eyes forward. So I think we
Okay.
had to go with these two guys, Gill and Rahul, because they have been playing consistently for the last 3 years. And whatever happens, like you just cannot be going back to your old boys just because it's a big tournament, it's a big series. Is my point.
Okay, so you're saying that it's okay to get a transition phase, and let's move on with the likes of Gill and Rahul, to be honest. But Ron, when we talk about these players in Australian conditions as well, you have Rahane, Rahul, Pujara, and then you have Gill as well. But I just like he said about the likes of VVS Lakshman, Rahul Dravid, they used to spend tons of time at the crease as well. If you look into the current Indian squad, I will say that the only player that loves to spend time at the crease for hours is Yashasvi Jaiswal, because you spoke about patience. What about the rest of the 10 players? Why is there lack of patience? Is the white ball format one of the reason behind?
Yes, because they have been playing even T20s in and out a lot for India. Also, I'm saying be it a Gill or a Rahul at times. The ODI setup he's in, keeping at times when Rishabh wasn't available. So this format interchanging is something difficult for a player to switch on mentally as well. How to adapt his game. Simple thing like how your backlift comes, whether you're pushing hard at a ball or just playing with soft hands. These things take time for a batter, especially to get a hang of it. Especially in overseas conditions, which are vital technical issues. If they start doing small things wrong, it will have a drastic effect on the overall impact of their entire batting stance. Everything is compounding it. Like small things add up, and the cumulative effect is a large thing. Which at times even you see a Virat Kohli used to shuffle a lot. The trigger movement has slightly gone over, emphasizing standing outside the crease, try to negate the bounce. All these things sometimes, as Utsav said, over your age catches up. All the reflexes come down. Just the power on it comes down. All these things. You maybe eyesight at times. You don't
Prime
maybe
example, Rohit Sharma.
Rohit, I think, is a lot more within the mind. Also, I feel cluttered because his captaincy hasn't been spot on. Which maybe in a white ball format, in a T20 format, he was always hands on, one step ahead
Correct.
at times. Maybe in the red ball format, still those tactical acumen isn't good even at home or overseas. What you have seen, unlike a Virat Kohli, who was always a fast bowler oriented kind of approach, Rohit has not quite got that battery of fast bowlers like how Virat had. Just see Ishant, Umesh, Bhuvi, all these guys were coming through, whereas Rohit just has a Bumrah to go to, and nobody else is really stepping in. So all these matters. I think how you develop your second line so that in case of contingency happens, how well these guys can step up. All these things, I think entire management, not just Rohit, has to take blame. The coaching staff, the selectors, whoever is involved. Until you get these things, small things right, it'll have a bigger effect. Just like we're seeing here.
I just wanted to add to Rohan's point is that okay? First of all, we do not associate Rohit Sharma with the red ball cricket. Like, yeah, he has aged up and reflexes have obviously gone down, and there's a mental issue as well. But you do not necessarily count Rohit Sharma as the red ball kind of player. He's more of a white ball player, and who has taken over the red ball captaincy as well. The problem with Rohit Sharma, the the ill fate of Rohit Sharma's captaincy was that not only when he got the captaincy, the pillars of the team, Virat, Rahane, and Pujara lost their forms, and also that he had to form a fast bowling unit of his own, which he has failed to do. He has given chances to Mukesh. Now he has again given chance to a certain Harshit Rana. Prasidh Krishna has been suffering with form. The thing is that with Virat Kohli, he had experienced guys like Bhuvneshwar, Shami was fit, Bumrah was great from right from the first match of IPL he has played. So yeah, I think that is the thing that Rohit Sharma has been missing, and that is the problem. That is that these things are adding up to our situation right now.
Okay, so these are critical moments because you need to be worried about, because next, if you look into the next cycle as well, it's not easy tours for India, to be honest, away from home, even the home ones, because what I've heard very recently, and I absolutely agree, if you talk about the experience in the batting, the experience in the bowling as well needs to be looked into. We do not have Ravichandran Ashwin anymore, Rohan. So when you talk about home test matches, what is the ideal pitch conditions you would go for?
I suggest let's not look into all this doctoring of the pitches or anything. Make sure it's a good pitch, just like how Melbourne was. I think if you can get a decent enough pitch, our batters, if they get that confidence back to score some enough runs, our bowlers, anyone, are good enough to defend that totally, is what I feel. With a Bumrah or even a Jaddu, Kuldeep, Akshar, anyone, I think once they get the hang of it, they're pretty much running through a team on their own to be a match winner. It's just that the runs on board. Problem is all these bits and pieces, all rounders are saving our, you can imagine, because the top order is failing and they have to be the ones who are scoring runs as well as picking your wickets. So I think this double role in overseas conditions, we are missing that because we don't have those all-rounders who can give you those medium pace overs which is required in overseas. That's why Hardik was missed. Someone like Nitish Reddy is being developed. Until we get a proper medium pace all-rounders who can bat well in that lower middle order, I think we'll keep suffering the same thing. We tried what Shardul Thakur brought into, but again, lack of form, of injuries, all these things has compounded and we're missing. So unless we develop these players within the domestic setup or even the 8 tours where we can have these medium pace all-rounders for specific conditions, I'm
Correct.
saying, and even formats, for white ball
Correct.
format or a red ball format, if we can zone in and identify the right players and make sure they're given a longer rope, I'm sure these guys will do. Just to add on to our previous point, Pujara or Rahane initially didn't quite do well, be it in England or even Australia or South Africa. It's over those failures they learned how to get better. Same thing, Rahul Dravid or VVS Lakshman, when went to South Africa, England, Australia, they didn't quite do well in the first couple of games or anything. It's only the next tour, it was only a Sachin Tendulkar who used to carry the burden. But over the period of time, these guys evolved because they learned from the failures. They
Correct.
adapted. They did the enough practice here at home in their own conditions, like indoor nets at NC or somewhere, to simulate those overseas conditions and get better. I want the same kind of a dedication from this younger lot before going to England or Australia or South Africa to simulate those kind of conditions. Classic example: Rachin Ravindra was given a CSK academy to train under the spin conditions
Absolutely.
for various kind of pitch, soils, etc. And he performed so well. He literally beat us on our own den, you can say, our spin game. So unless we guys we have the facilities, make sure use it properly to get yourself into that rhythm and conditions acclimatization. Only then we can make sure what we have at the face level, maybe on a ground level, we can implement better.
Absolutely, that's a very, very valid point. To be honest, I absolutely agree with that. Final question, starting with you, Utsav, then I'll ask the same to Rohan as well. Cheteshwar Pujara, 103 matches for India, over 7,000 runs. Similarly, Ajinkya Rahane, 85 matches, over 5,000 runs for India. Are they coming back to play for India ever again?
I do not think so. I think Rahane has a better chance of making it to the side at the moment than Pujara, considering the recent form. I do not see Cheteshwar Pujara making a back, even though the runs that Pujara scores is way more than just the 50 runs he has scored. Like
Mhm.
apart from those 50 runs he has scored, the 120 balls that he has used is what matters more in the game. And Indian team is missing a character like that. But I do not see Cheteshwar Pujara, like bringing Cheteshwar Pujara back to be the solution. Not even in the short run. Forget the longer run. I think we have to develop a certain player who can give us the things that Pujara used to give us.
Okay, so you're saying no, maybe Rahane coming ahead of Pujara could be the only thing. But Rohan, same question, but I just want to add Hazelwood was the happiest man on planet Earth when he saw Pujara not be in the squad of the Indian side. Same question, are they coming back ever again?
You never say never in Indian cricket, Pritham. Who knows? Maybe he's in the county cricket playing, and any player develops our favorite niggle during the England tour. Pujara will be just a call away and make sure at least play a test just to save a grace, maybe at times. So you're not sure what happens in Indian cricket because nobody is calling their day so easily because of the reputation they carry and the image they have. It's not easy to walk away so on your own terms. Someone like Ash or a Tendulkar or a Dada previously could do it on their own terms. They went, but unlike a Dravid
Correct.
or Lakshman, they couldn't get even a proper farewell. Harbhajan, Sehwag, the list is endless. So unless they they know it's like until people shouldn't say why are you leaving, it shouldn't be like why not, man. So it's high time people realize what time is theirs, and when it's up, uh, do a graceful exit, so that at least the respect is intact. Because for us, all these players are almost close to a demigod kind of a status. The kind of achievements they have done, it's all hats off. All these are greats, let's be honest. Just because their time at the back half of the career maybe isn't up to the mark, we shouldn't be too harsh also on them. They deserve the respect. Just that they need to realize what's in store for them moving forward. Do a graceful exit is what I expect from them.
Graceful exit is what we expect when it comes to the two of the greats for India, Ajinkya Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara in the red ball format. Thank you so much, both of you. That's all I wanted to know. So it's time for India to move on to the transition phase and back the youngsters, Shubman Gill, KL Rahul, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Washington Sundar, just like Utsav said. It's time, let's move on and focus on these players, give them enough runs to get some runs on the board under their belt as well. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much and bye-bye.